What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to the Combat Zone, and I'm coming at you with my UFC Freedom 250 fight predictions. Now, this event is obviously very prestigious. It's going to be on the lawn of the White House. If you have no idea what's going on and you're watching this video, I might have just blew your mind. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is going to be a UFC card on the lawn of the White House. Now, it is a very stacked card, obviously, because of how special of an event it is. And I'm going to tell y'all my predictions, starting with Diego Lopez versus Steve Garcia. Now, I think Diego Lopez has the edge over Steve Garcia because of his overall pressure and his submission threat and ability that he has to create chaos in exchanges. Lopez, he fights at a high pace and he always capitalizes on mistakes quickly, which could be a problem for Garcia, honestly. If the fight gets scrambly or overly aggressive, Diego Lopez could for sure catch Steve Garcia with a clean shot that could honestly put Garcia out cold. Now, Garcia has serious power too, don't get me wrong. But Lopez, to me, just seems more dangerous in multiple areas and has shown he can handle high level competition like Steve. He has an amazing chin. He proved that in the two Volk fights and in the Jean Silva fight. He ate multiple front kicks to the face. I think Diego Lopez goes out there and finishes Steve Garcia in round number one. Now, your second fight of the night, Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins. I think Bo Nickel will beat Kyle Dawkins. You know, Bo Nickel is such an elite wrestler, and he has amazing physical pressure and ability control where the fight takes place. He's coming off of an amazing, beautiful head kick knockout a couple months ago. And Nickel is extremely dangerous once he gets his hands on his opponents. His grappling transitions are flawless. I mean, but Dawkins is skilled on the ground and technically solid, you know. So, but Nickel's explosiveness and his control and pace, I think, could easily overwhelm Kyle, over the course of the fight. So, with that, I have Bo Nickel by unanimous decision. Up next, fight number 3 of the night, Mauricio Rufy versus Michael Chandler. Now, I believe Mauricio Rufy has a strong chance to knock out Michael Chandler. This is because of his speed and his timing and sharp striking accuracy that he's shown in multiple different fights. You know, he showed that in the Rafael Fiziev fight. Obviously, the beautiful spinning back kick right off of Bobby King Green's cranium. You know, he always has a good job staying composed while creating openings. And Chandler is just way too aggressive. And I think it'll leave him exposed where Mauricio Rufy can find that shot and finish the fight. I have no, for sure prediction on what round, but I think Rufy has the power and precision to capitalize and end the fight quickly. All right. Fight number 4, Josh Hokett versus Derek Lewis. I think Josh Hokett could knock out Derek Lewis, if I'm being honest, because he obviously had a banger fight with Curtis Blades last month at UFC 327 in Miami, which I had the absolute honor of watching in person. And I think he can beat Derek by showing his constant pressure and his cardio and well-timed combinations. And I think it'll wear Lewis down so much that he can't keep up with it. He proved his head movement in his fight against Curtis Blades. Josh Hokett did, and he really just went out there and showed that he was willing to stand and bang. Now, with how powerful Derek Lewis is, he generates so much power off of the back foot. I think Josh Hokett needs to be very careful and choose his shots wisely if he wants to go out there and finish the fight. So, My official prediction is Josh Hokett by TKO. Bout number 5. All right. We got Sean O'Malley versus Ayman Zahibi. I think O'Malley's going to go out there and beat Zahibi by unanimous decision. O'Malley has a high striking volume, fast movement, and he has such an ability to control range throughout the fight. And I think O'Malley is very effective at picking opponents apart from the outside and, always scoring consistently without taking much damage. But the reason I think he won't go out there and finish Sahibi is because of how durable and technically sound he is. But I think O'Malley's speed and accuracy and overall activity will allow him to pick up the unanimous decision victory. Now, your co-main event for the evening. Alex Pereira versus Cyril Gane for the heavyweight interim title bout. This fight is for the interim title bout because of an injury to his eye that was caused by none other than the man on the right of your screen, Cyril Gane. Now, I believe Alex will beat Cyril Gane because of how elite his striking precision is and how much power he packs. And also, Alex is such a perfect heavyweight. He looks absolutely phenomenal at this weight. He looks healthy. He seems very ready to go and very prepared. But on the slight off chance, I think Cyril Gane could win this fight. I don't know how. I just have some sort of hunch that he goes out there and will find some way, whether it's on the ground, maybe he finishes Alex. I'm not for sure, but I have such like a itch in the back of my mind that I think Cyril will go out there and finish it. But more than likely, I have Alex winning by knockout. Now, your main event of the evening. Ilia Topuria versus Justin the Highlight Gaethje for the lightweight world championship. Justin Gaethje is coming off of an amazing fight against Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight title. And I think that so many people are counting Gaethje out. Do I think he'll win? I think it's probably 70-30, honestly. Ilya has a 70% chance of winning, and Gaethje has about a 30% chance of winning. I think Ilya can go out there and knock Gaethje out because of how clean his boxing is and his pressure and his ability to always stay sharp. But Gaethje absolutely has paths to victory. His experience is going to play a card for sure. He's such a crafty vet, and I love Gaethje. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. And one thing a lot of people know about Gaethje are his leg kicks. That being said, I think if Gaethje wants to win this fight, he needs to go out there, play it safe, and obviously keep his chin nowhere near Ilya. He needs to play the long game, but he needs to just chop at Ilya's legs and try to take some of that power away. And then Ilya's never really went, 5 rounds. Well, he did against Josh Emmett. And that, was obviously a win for Ilya because he's undefeated. But if Ilya gets into the later rounds and Gaethje just picks him apart, I think Ilya will be so drained that Gaethje could go out there and finish it. But like I said, 70-30, I still think that Ilya will go out there and finish Gaethje. I'm not sure what round. If we're being honest, I think it'll be round 1. But I'm just saying that Gaethje has a way to win. It's not impossible for him to pull that out. But yeah, that being said, those are my picks for UFC Freedom 250. It's going to be happening Sunday, June 14th on the front lawn of the White House. Such a prestigious event. I'm so excited to watch these fights. And let me know what you guys think about these predictions in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good night, y'all.